Happy New Year! Ish. You know, it has been a while since I made a video that's like 20 plus minutes. Whether you think the BVS video was good or bad, I just want to say thank you for 670 plus views. It's probably not that special to you guys, but to me, I thought this video would get like, what, 200 views tops, so thank you all so much. And after finding opportunities to improve my editing, figure out ways I cannot come across as some Dumbsville ripoff, and getting my mic quality stuff together, all I'm left is to come up with a topic for this video. But what should it be about? Oh, I know! Games! Mobile games. Most of you may not know this, but the popularization of mobile games began as early as 1997, with a game known as Snake being preloaded on Nokia phones. Because of its success, several phone manufacturers included preloaded games on their devices. But in 1999, the introduction of the Docomo I mode in Japan allowed a wide variety of more technologically advanced mobile games to be downloaded into other phones. And then in the 2000s, Apple stepped in. The reveal of the iPhone in the App Store was a game changer for the mobile game market, with successful games like Angry Birds and Cut the Rope dominating the market back in the day. You could not go 1 minute without stumbling upon these sodding birds. But these games were mainstream for a good damn reason. They were super fun and addicting. And a few years later, Candy Crush came, and you could probably tell where it all went from there. Nowadays, you cannot play a mobile game without coming across tons of ads that take 20 years to let you skip them, and the monetization started to get ridiculous to the point where playing the games feel like more of a chore than anything else. However, there have been higher quality mobile games, an example being Honkai Star Rail. It's not only one of the biggest mobile games ever, but also one of the biggest games of all time. Most likely because of its addicting combat and interesting world building. Hell, it's not just on mobile too, but unfortunately, despite its polish, there is always a catch. Most of the time it is plagued by gacha mechanics that mostly range from ridiculous to an easy tutorial for credit card debt just for the hope of unlocking Topaz and her pet Thumb. And I assume Apple saw how predatory most of the games got, so in 2019, they launched a subscription service called Apple Arcade. This was a way for mobile game devs to step out of this overly monetized hellhole and get back into the feel of making premium mobile games. Though, this comes with a caveat for customers. Because this is a subscription service, which means if you want to keep playing your favorite games, you'll have to fork over some money monthly or yearly to keep on playing. But despite some justifiable complaints regarding the whole exclusivity hoo-ha, it's a pretty accessible service. It's not just on iPhone or iPad, it's on Mac and even Apple TV if you want that console gaming feel, which is what I believe to be Apple Arcade's intent. Mobile games that make you feel like you're playing actual games on an Xbox or something. Now, just recently I managed to get an iPhone, and with it, I get 3 months free of Apple Arcade. So I played some of the games from the service, and I have some things to say about them. And that's what this video is about, taking you all through the world of Apple Arcade exclusives. Just not all of them though, we'd be here all day if I did that. But I've made myself a bit of a rule. I'm not going to count Apple Arcade ports of pre-existing games. So that means there will be no Shantae and the Seven Sirens, no plus versions of pre-existing games, and no Shovel Knight Dig, which is a shame because it's just as synonymous with a completionist as it is with charity fraud. Now let us start off by saying hello to our good friend, Omnom. He has since turned over a new leaf where instead of you helping him get the candy, you now help him with committing child endangerment. Cut the Rope Free is first on our little list of games here, and before I start, let me just get this out of the way. To me, this franchise is like the AVGN of mobile games. Where the new stuff is nothing like its prime, it shows that Zepto Labs still have tons of fun making these little games. Hell, even beyond Cut the Rope, their games still seem to have at least some form of passion behind them, which is something I wish I could say about Rovio nowadays. In this game, Omnom now has a son, which solidifies the fact that this guy somehow did it, so I deleted the game from my phone in the bin. Okay, for real, Omnom and his son, Nibblenom, one day decide to go on a bunch of expeditions and various death-defying adventures at land and sea, just for the sake of photographing some normies. I mean, you would do the same, wouldn't you? Last time I went on an adventure like this, I got thrown to a bunch of spikes just for the sake of photographing a 2000s Quaver packet. The gameplay is just like the past two mainline Cut the Rope games. However, like I said, instead of trying to get candy to Omnom, it's now trying to help get Omnom spawn to his dad. And because he's candy shaped, of course he's the one that's subjugated to do these escapades while his dad continues to do none of the work. As for the game itself, god damn, it's surprisingly good. It continues the tradition of the physics puzzle-based gameplay with some new tricks up its sleeve, giving more opportunities to get that braining gear by getting those 3 stars. And it also seems that Omnom is more upset about losing the candy than constantly putting his kid in danger. And as for the normies they find, what do they do? Nothing? Okay, come on, at least that old Quavers packet had something to eat. Yeah, gone are the days of the normies that affect gameplay in Cut the Rope 2. Now they are just PNG. Again, I kinda thought this game was gonna suck, but color me impressed, man. This was a damn good sequel. Zeptolab could have easily screwed this up, but it's not, and it's a fun, addicting game because of it. Up next on our list is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. This game is a top-down, roguelike, dungeon-crawling, action-ish game developed by Super Evil Megacorp, the same people who are working on a Rebel Moon video game for Super Evil Megacorp. And I didn't know about this until doing some research, but apparently this game takes inspiration from Hades, which I have yet to play. So if I don't recognize any similarities of these two games, then it's on me. The story of this game is that Leonardo is having a nice stroll along the rooftops to train. So he does some training, but the Foot Clan drop in and Leo dies! Nah, just kidding, he's fine. Turtles then soon find out that Master Splinter has been kidnapped by the Shredder, and mysterious portals simultaneously appear across New York. And this is where I get into the gameplay. Since this is a roguelike, no rooms are the same. Different upgrades, different room layouts, almost everything gets randomized upon death. I'm a bit of a roguelike enjoyer myself, as I have played The Binding of Isaac, a bit of Enter the Gungeon, Pointy, and Downwell. I just want to mention, Downwell is my favourite roguelike and indie game. That game is so good. It has some damn soul. So despite its blatant Hades similarities, is Splinter's Fate a good game?
Yeah.
I was damn surprised with how quality this game is. It isn't original, but goddamn, if this wasn't Apple Arcade exclusive, more people would be talking about it. You play as a Ninja Turtle of your choice, each turtle has their own dedicated move and playstyle, but since this is a roguelike, there is tons of room for improvement. You will lose in this game if you aren't careful. And I assume just like Hades, the incentive to replay is to progress through its story. And just like every other roguelike, you can get upgrades and buy items that can make runs just a little bit easier. As for the story itself, it's alright, simple, but it gets the job done. Although the voice acting is surprisingly really good. But for some reason, Raphael is Sonic.
Now we got voices in our heads? What the crud's next?
And Michelangelo is bloody Spider-Man.
Only thing better than pizza is more pizza.
And by that I mean the best Spider-Man. Fight me. Splintered Fate is far from amazing, but goddamn, I am impressed with how genuinely fun this game is. I'll definitely be playing this from time to time. This one's a hidden gem. I could say the same thing about Amazing Bomberman, but so, it seems like Konami didn't think the world would go without another Bomberman game since Super Bomberman R2 was announced in a Nintendo Partner Showcase in June of 2022. Yet it was on track to release in 2023. What they did to compensate for the lack of Bomberman is take a quick look at Tetris Effect and give that a Bomberman skin. And yeah, that's a result of the creation of Amazing Bomberman. When you first boot up the game, you're greeted with a really nice looking lo-fi inspired menu. With cute animation of white and black chilling and gaming like true bros, giving off the fact that there's going to be more music and rhythm focused than the average Bomberman game. You can select a variety of tracks made specifically for this game, and the music is so good. And the fact they have rules fitting for each song is pretty awesome too. Items and blocks fall to the beat of the rhythm, and for the gameplay itself, it's still standard Bomberman, but with a pretty unique twist. Instead of the titular Battle Royale stuff, it is more score based. Getting items and blowing up opponents all count towards your final score, and the Bomberman with the most points is the winner. There's even missions for you to complete to get cosmetics, ranging from stuff for your banner, badges, facial expressions, poses, and animations. So this seems like a really addicting, unique, and fun Bomberman game. And yeah, you're right, it is. But here's the problem. It's quite half-assed. Now, obviously, I don't expect quality when a game is made by post-2015 Konami, but, I'll keep things brief. How the hell did they bork up the colours for the Bomberman? White looks perfectly fine, but black, red, and even my goat blue have white arms and legs, which, if you all know, is not what these guys look like. Their arms and legs are beige. The music selection is very minuscule, and I assume it's because Konami couldn't really be arsed to get people to make more music for the game through post-launch updates or something. It seems that they can't be bothered to at least license some music and utilize them in a Bomberman stage, which sucks, because I always wanted to mix Bomberman with the Insane Clown Posse. And lastly, for the more expert Bomberman fans out there, I'm going to give you a test. Look at this game and see what it reminds you of. In case you forgot, this game's gameplay engine is exactly the same one used in the now defunct Super Bomberman R Online, which would later be used in Super Bomberman R2. And just like those two games, controls are exactly the same, which just screams lazy. Now, this game still isn't bad, it's still fun pick up and play Bomberman, and at the end of the day, the music is still incredible. And I do like the score attack approach, but goddamn, it really did feel like Konami threw a bunch of things at a wall and saw if it stuck. Amazing Bomberman is a decent game, but man, the half-assed nature of it really holds it back. Bomberman fans deserve better, all I'm saying. Damn, not even 5 games in and we already hit a bit of a slump here. Hoping the next game isn't a glorified asset flip. I need another good game. A very well done game. Jesus fuck!
Hello, it is me, Steven the Almighty Meow, and I got something that is well done.
How did you get here?
That is something I do not want to elaborate. Rovio brought back the original Angry Birds games, and that's very well done.
Are you sure?
Of course they did, you uninformed specimen. Here is the gift that contains the well done game.
Steven, what the fuck is this? Okay, so let me get this straight. Instead of bringing back all the games everybody loved, Rovio instead decided to make a reimagining of Angry Birds, Angry Birds Seasons, and Angry Birds Space, along with shoveling elements of the Angry Birds movie and its sequel? I don't know about you, but this is super unnecessary. The OG games aren't really super outdated gameplay-wise, so why does this exist? But what shocks me is that people hate this game. Like, they really do not like it. I don't know what could be super sinful about an Angry Birds game, aside from the obvious reasons. I do not like parroting someone's opinion, so I'm gonna go into this with an open mind, because unlike what a certain app that used to have something related to a bird said, that's how you approach media. Now for the actual question on everyone's mind. Does Angry Birds Reloaded do a good job of bringing back the classic game? No, it isn't terrible. There are some things to like about it. They brought back the Toons art style, which I honestly personally prefer over the classic art style. But you saw those big ol' words in the screen, so I'm gonna jump into why this game doesn't sit right with me. The physics in this game suck! Regardless of obstacle, launching the birds feel like you're flinging cardboard at titanium. It lacks the destructive and explosive edge the OG games had, and destroying objects don't feel as fun. And I can point to a possible reason why. That most likely being these goddamn power-ups. This leads me to believe, is this game one big Angry Birds Friends asset flip? It's like the game is forcing you to go out of your way to grind your ass off to get free stars for more coins. Just for the sake of getting more power-ups to simply play the game better. And that's not what the OG games were about, you know? You didn't have to rely on some stupid cheat to get free stars. You had to at least plan out your launches and conserve your birds in a way. Hell, Angry Birds 2, as much as an overly monetized mess this game is, knows this. I swear, one level took me a whole minute working around these sloppy physics, crying every single time these stupid avians failed to kill the pigs, only to say sod it and use the birdquake power-up, getting me these free stars without any effort whatsoever. And do you want to know the point where I couldn't take it anymore? Right damn here. Yeah, they expect you to grind your ass off just to access the Seasons and Space content. I swear, didn't we leave this shit in the 2000s? If this game is expecting me to play for what's essentially Angry Birds Friends, masquerading as a corpse of free superior games, trudging through downgraded physics, and forcing me to use these essentially mandatory power-ups, I'm not doing this. I refuse. Yeah, Angry Birds Reloaded kinda sucks. It's just not a good way to play these classic games, neither is it a good game on its own. And considering Rovio's track record at the moment, that isn't surprising. Sega, I know you own the franchise now, so let me make a request. Remaster Angry Birds Trilogy, I'm waiting for it, baby. Come on, do it, boy! Alright, if this next game is another glorified asset flip, I'm going to scream. It's called Warped Kart Racers, so I'm just gonna boot up this game and have a gander. Oh my fucking god! This is the greatest game I've ever seen in my life! Why is that, you may ask? Because I am playing as Peter freaking Griffin in a more smaller and pimped up version of his car. Look at him go! Woohoo! Alright, jokes aside, if you couldn't tell, this is a Mario Kart clone. But instead of Mario and all his friends, it's a four-way crossover between Family Guy, American Dad, King of the Hill, and Solar Opposites. Each series has 6 playable characters, and there's surprisingly a lot of karts with a ton of references to boot. Same applies to the majority of the tracks. And I know I sounded like I praised this game like it's God, but jokes aside, this game is actually not that bad. Yeah, shocker considering this is a game with the funny family man in it. But then again, Fortnite is a fun game and that has the funny family man in it. God, everywhere I go, I see Peter's face. His grin won't leave my mind and I feel like he wants me to do Surfing Bird or else he will crucify me by the balls. But yeah, for a Mario Kart clone, this is pretty decent. I mean, I wouldn't willingly play it over Mario Kart, but for a clone, it's pretty competent. You got the usual races, the usual Grand Prix, usual battles, the Drunken Clan being the Koopa Shell, which is amazing. If you say otherwise, you're getting shot. It's all here if you're looking for a neat change of pace from the unbridled chaos Mario Kart 8 Deluxe gives you. The tracks, while basic in design, are really nice to look at. They feel like they have been ripped straight out of shows. Controls are pretty tight too, and the drifting feels unironically good. It's pretty responsive. There's even a leveling system for each character, so if you want to grind so hard to get Peter back into his silly nanny's getup, then be my guest, dude, do it for old Pete. I don't really have that much else to say. It's not super original, but it's an okay time. And before I close this off, yes, this game is better than Mario Kart Tour, which is pretty embarrassing to say. Alrighty, what's next? Another racing game! Remember Team Sonic Racing? You know, the one Sonic Racing game with neat team mechanics that only had one day of relevance before going completely dead? Well, take that game, shove it into Apple Arcade, and that's pretty much Sonic Racing. Only differences in the title is that the team is dead silent. You wanna know what they actually changed? the controls. Yeah, instead of steering normally, they took the Mario Kart Tour approach of how not to steer your car left and right. You automatically drift, which sounds okay on paper, but the problem here is that you will turn this game from a simple game of Sonic racing to a bumper car session. Other than that, this game is one of the most aggressively okay mobile racing games I've ever played. It's literally just Team Sonic Racing with elements of Clash Royale with the whole trophy and card stuff implemented. That stupid card stuff ruined mobile game progression forever, by the way. Fuck you, Clash Royale! And that is all it has to offer. A compact, watered down version of Team Sonic Racing. I don't have that much to say because that is literally all I really have to say. Screw off. Alright, before we get to the big boy of the list, I just want to shed some light to some honourable mentions that didn't really make the cut, or just an excuse for me being super lazy. Got the Rope Remastered. Great fun and certainly a much better reimagining of games than Angry Birds Reloaded, with tons of new bells and whistles to boot. Nickelodeon Extreme Tennis. Fine for a few minutes, but only makes you wish you were playing Mario Tennis instead. Also, I keep forgetting Nickelodeon owns Garfield now. It's like remembering Disney owns The Simpsons once every 2 weeks. Pac-Man Party Royale. Made! And finally, Jetpack Joyride 2. Obviously not better than the first game, but god damn it, Barry, I missed you. Alright, time for the big finisher. The big boyo. The curtain call. The one to cap off this list of games. And that game is... I kinda forgot what it is already. Hey Bucko, do you want me to jog your memory? Okay. Yeah, we made another Sonic game for Apple Arcade! It's actually the game we wanted to make instead of using a mainline game skin for the sake of money! How many bags of cocaine did you eat? I'm not elaborating on that question! Here, play it! Bye! Okay. See you? Well, judging by this guy's attitude, I don't really have that much hope for this, so let me give this game a shot. Holy shit, I don't know about you, and I don't know if this is my bias talking, but we have a winner, boys! So Sonic's 2023 was a pretty big surprise. We've got a second season of Sonic Prime, a decent return to form of Sonic Superstars, 3 game-changing updates and a divisive campaign DLC with Sonic Frontiers, and a DLC for Sonic Origins. I don't know, I haven't played that yet. And to cap off this surprising year, Sonic Dream Team came out of nowhere and reminded us that this hedgehog is not slowing down anytime soon. And I'm not joking when I say this. This game kicks ass! No joke, Sonic Dream Team is one of my favourite games to come out of 2023. It's definitely the best Sonic project to come out of that year, and it's so good it makes me wanna... Now, to be fair, it's not one of the best Sonic games of all time, and it really ends when it starts to get interesting with its level design, but god damn it, it's so much fun! The story here is super simple and nothing too special, but the gameplay more than makes up for it. Why? Because the game takes inspiration from Mario 64 of all games, and I dig it. You can freely swap between characters mid-gate. Okay, this just makes Final Horizon look more embarrassing. Either way, the characters still offer unique ways of traversing levels. They move the same, but all 6 of them have their own unique abilities. Each character is split into classes of 2. Sonic and Amy can light dash, Tails and Cream can... well, take a guess. And Knuckles and Rouge can glide and climb. Another thing to mention is that the gameplay is sort of inspired by Tony Hawk Pro Skater of all games. You can boost off of half pipes to gain some air and momentum. And the animations, man. For as little animated cutscenes this game has, it makes up for it thanks to some fantastic and bouncy expressions. God man, I'm kind of embarrassed. How the hell are the animations better here than Sonic Team's big boy AAA video game? Oh yeah, right, Apple money. The bosses are decent too. Simple, yet enjoyable fights. I didn't expect fantastic quality considering that this is a mobile game, but who cares, they're fun. Also, this sheep is called REM. Get it? REM. In conclusion, Sonic Dream Team is an amazingly pleasant surprise to cap off another great year for Sonic. It shows that Hardlight is more than capable of just pay-to-win slop, and I hope that one day they get to develop a game for PC and console. Hats off to Hardlight everyone, because they really nailed it here. Now I could have added in more Apple Arcade games on the list, but goddamn, we would have been here all day. I just wanted to talk about the ones that stuck out to me the most. So, in conclusion, Apple Arcade, while rather annoying, since it's pretty much your only way to access premium mobile games in this day and age, has a lot of value to it. Yeah, there can be the usual port or sometimes outright bad game, but as I've shown with a few games on this list, it has a lot of value to it to the point where I can say it's worth giving a shot. And no, I'm not being paid by Apple. Now, time to finally end this video, and honestly, after playing a bunch of games on my phone on a really, really bright screen, I'm getting rather sleepy. Oh yeah, Rebel Moon sucks ass, by the way.
Holy fuck.